Welcome to my program Bashy's Corner. We take issues which mainstream media doesn't want or maybe don't care, but we do. Ethnic minorities are a sizable part of Danish society. They have businesses, they take part in sports, culture, and any other field you can think of. But when it comes to politics, they are not very visible. On national level, there are only 2 people with ethnic minority background who are in the Danish parliament. On local level, there are, I won't say plenty, but there are many. To get answer to all these questions, we have invited Mr. Abbas Razvi, who is very active on many different fronts, both politics, teaching, NGO, and you name it. He's also many years member of Danish, I would call liberal Danish political party called Social Liberal Party. He was elected as the Council of Capital Region of Greater Copenhagen and is, of course, very respected among ethnic minorities, especially Pakistanis. Mr. Razvi, thank you for coming to the program.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Let me start by asking you about yourself, because politics we can always discuss. Mm-hmm. Could you tell our viewers a little bit about your own ethnic background?
Shortly?
Shortly.
Okay. Well, as maybe you can see, I was born in Pakistan.
Okay.
Yes. But I migrated from my country at a very young age. So I came to Denmark and I fell in love with the country. Also with a beautiful woman.
Yes.
And got married to her, and then I decided to stay in Denmark. So my initial
why Denmark?
Or it's again, Mr. Bashy, it's a very long story.
Okay,
because Denmark had a good reputation, yes, to be honest. One of my good friends, he said, Abbas, do you really want to achieve your ambitions? I said, yes, I do. Then he said, go to a country like Denmark. Beautiful. You can work in the daytime, you can study, and you can get all the knowledge you want, because I've been very greedy all my life to get so much expertise, so much knowledge as possible.
That's exactly what.
So that's what, yes, so that's what I've been gathering in this country. Wonderful. For the last many years.
I'm happy to hear. You are one of the very few politicians with minority background in Denmark who's quite visible. But why this lack of interest among minorities when it comes to politics?
It's very popular to say that's because their societies, this is society to be blamed. But in a way, there are 2 parts to be blamed. Society is also to be blamed because society hasn't created enough opportunities for the people from ethnic minorities to go into the politics. They will always just, want to find something about your background. If you have supported any organization which you thought was maybe a humane organization, they will find a reason to tell the Danish mainstream that that organization is some ways attached to a terrorist organization. Oh, yes, yes. This is one of the reasons. Yeah. I know because in my early age, or when I was younger, there were a lot of dedicated people, very intelligent people with ethnic or minority background who wanted to join these politics, but they were not treated well. I actually managed to keep a low profile because I said things I want to do are more important to me than expose myself to the media and become a very popular or maybe unpopular figure. So my main focus was on my own goals, what I wanted to do.
But talking about your own goals, I know that among the ethnic minorities, there are traditional jobs like doctors, engineers, IT specialists, and maybe even economists. But you have been working different jobs, you have been studying, and then you went to politics. Why all these activities?
Because I just blamed one part of the game.
Okay.
Then the ethnic minorities are also to be blamed because luckily and fortunately our youngsters are second generation. they are doing quite well.
Okay.
They are doctors, engineers, IT specialists, economists, and so on, you name it, and also successful businessmen.
Sure.
But when they say, well, I'm doing well, my own economy is good enough, so why should I bother to join politics, you know, what is in there for me, and so it's a kind of
like
myopia, you know.
Yeah.
They are more concerned about their own well-being, and I keep on pushing and motivating these people.
Wonderful.
When I keep on telling them, okay, this society and your own community has given you a lot to be thankful for.
True.
So if you want to repay, so it's just go in politics and do something to make this country more beautiful, make this country more desirable, make this country more attractive, and do something for your own community as well.
Wonderful advice.
Yeah.
You studied economics,
You're right.
as I understand.
Yeah.
Wasn't it better to join a bank or a big international company?
Yeah, if you talk about material
Okay.
and you talk about money, it would have been much better. I could have been much better off with a lot of money and so on, you know. But it depends what you want, what kind of saturation you are seeking. I have always sought a kind of saturation which is not affiliated to money. It's maybe a cliche, you know, but I wanted to make a change. And I want to be a kind of unique person, you know.
Okay.
So this is one of my peculiarities.
I think it's a wonderful idea to believe in oneself. But you also, I remember you also taught Urdu language.
Yeah, that's true.
To for some time. How was that experience teaching your mother tongue or your tongue,
Yes.
national language?
Will you believe me, Bashy, it was wonderful. And do you know why? It was wonderful to talk and teach in a language which I loved and still love. That was one of the reasons. But the other thing was, I was always convinced of that people with an intact personality, intact self-esteem, and a confidence in themselves, they can do anything they want.
And they can be better citizens.
Yes, they can become better citizens, they can achieve more success, they can learn the Danish language much better, and so on and so forth.
But were you disappointed when the Danish government a few years back decided to abolish this mother tongue education?
It is a disaster, if you ask me, because you know, the reason which was given, that was, if you learn your own mother tongue, then you won't be able to learn the Danish language as you must.
Actually, it's the opposite, you know.
Yes, and that is exactly the opposite of the fact. There are studies in America, there are studies in England. England was one of the countries which introduced English as a second language way time before Denmark even thought about it. And if you look about the minorities in England, you will be astonished. You will see people who are doing so well, both economically but also socially, and they are contributing huge amounts of money as well to the Danish or to the English treasury, you know. And why did they do that? That's because their own self-esteem was positive.
Did they feel comfortable in this?
Yeah, and I loved it, and believe me, Bashy, those pupils, those students I once teached I was a teacher for, they are doing so well. I'm always pleased to see them. They are successful, they have good businesses, they have high posts, and they are doing quite well, both for themselves and also for the Danish society.
In 2013, you were elected in the management board of the regional council, regions Hovedstad, you call it. What is this council for our viewers? Can you tell them?
One little correction.
Please.
That was my third term.
Okay, but the
very first
one,
term I was elected in 2006.
Yes.
Yes. Regional councils were made back in 2006, but they started functioning, doing their work in 2007.
Okay.
So regional councils, Denmark comprises of 5 regional councils. As you know, there are 98 municipalities in this country. So there was an architect, Mr. Lars Løkke Rasmussen, and he thought, if we make he thought if we make regional councils and tell them that their main task is to look to the healthcare. Okay. So if they take care of the healthcare, which is a very, very expensive thing. I don't know if you know, but we're spending close to 115 billion kroners per annum on healthcare alone in Denmark.
It's a big part of budget.
It's a big part of the budget. And my own region, which is called the capital region of Denmark, Region Hovedstaden, it's spending close to 39 billion kroners. And out of those 39 billion kroners, 38 billion kroners are spent on healthcare. There's only 1 billion kroner for the environmental issues, for the public transportation, for what you call regional development, and so on.
It means that many Danes are sick physically.
Well, you know, there are different
reasons.
Yes, there are different reasons. First and foremost, we are so fortunate to live a long life.
Okay.
And the amount of elder or senior citizen is always almost going up, it's increasing. So one thing is that aging is a good thing, but aging means that you suffer from more kind of diseases. That means you need more care. That means you need more medicine. So you have to look into the fact that aging population needs more money, it needs more care, and so on. So our main issue is to find a balance. If we spend millions of kroners to save one cancer patient, when we know that that cancer patient has 3, maybe 4 or 5 months left, should we say, okay, we are stopping it now and spend the money on other patients, or what should we do? So it's a big dilemma.
Okay.
So there is always...
But the value of human life is amazing.
It's amazing, and that's why it's so difficult to say, when do you stop it? When do you say somebody is old enough to die? Let him die, or let her die.
Some people think that these councils, you have regional councils, they are like in competition with municipalities. Is it so?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because municipalities, you know, they are with you right from the day you are born. All those nurseries, you know, all those kindergartens, all schools, your own primary health, the roads and the sewerage system and all that, that's been taken care by the municipalities. So the secondary health, that is what region is concerned with.
Okay, so coming back to this topic you said about health,
Yeah.
in your election manifesto last time, you mentioned equality in health sector, CO2 neutral region, and better education for youth also. When you look back, can you see that your promises or your wishes has come true?
Well, it depends how you look on upon.
As you look at it.
I'm looking at my glass, you know, it's half full.
Okay.
But it's half full but half empty. I'm optimistic by nature. I say it's half full. So, well, it takes time. I will just give you one example. A long time ago, I had an ambition or an item on my agenda that me and you and all us who have another ethnic background, when you go to the hospital, we should be given the food we need, the food we eat, the food we are used to eat. Because when you're sick, you know, your treatment is cured by 2 means. One is the medication and the right diagnosis, and the other is the nutrition. That means the food you eat. So I had an ambition of about going into an agenda where it was possible to say, well, if you are Muslim and you want to eat the food you are used to eat, so it should be possible. And there was a lot of what you call struggle from other parties who don't want these things to happen, but it happened. So, you know, it takes time. It took me more than 4 years. Then my other agenda was that we are so lucky and fortunate. I love Denmark when I open the tap, you know, and I can just drink the water. You go any other country, there are bottles. Not in my
municipalities, a lot of calcium in that.
But I'm sorry to hear that, but in the most of the country, you know. So it is very crucial to our environments, to our planet, our country, that we keep on being as fossil free as possible.
Okay.
And we are actually quite close to attaining some of our goals, you know, and 2050 we want our region to be fossil free. It takes a lot of effort.
So that was one of your campaign things.
Yeah.
But you also campaign on more specialized doctors.
Yeah.
You campaign for a little bit of private health insurances. And then you said there should be more beds in the hospitals.
Yeah. As far as this private health insurance is concerned, we are not very curious about it, because we said, okay, if you are a man of means and you have a lot of money, so you can have your own insurance, it's okay. But we shouldn't be there to pay for your insurance, because what happened was that if I was your employer, I could make an insurance for you, and I had the possibility to withdraw that money out of my taxes.
It's like in America.
Yeah. Like so the problem is that you are receiving maybe preferable treatment, but the tax system was paying for it. And as you know, whole system in healthcare is funded by taxes. Sure. So we don't want any money involved in it. So if people want to make their own private insurances, then they shouldn't take the money out of their taxes.
So they should pay themselves.
So yes, so we had said, okay, if you want a parallel system or you want maybe a better system, it's all up to you. But you won't get that tax deduction.
Smart move.
So that's one thing to very clear. I want to make it very clear.
It's fine.
The other thing is that. Specialist, how do you treat people in the most optimal way? It depends on what kind of expertise you have. So if you have small units, different places in the region, so they don't have enough patients to be experts, So if we wanted them, for example, for the colon cancer, we wanted them to get the optimal expertise, And you can only attain it when you perform the operation, the surgery, time and time again. And as you see the structure today, we have succeeded.
I would like to come back to your political party, Social Liberal.
Yes.
As everybody knows that they were part of the last social democratic government for 4 years.
Yeah.
But now there is a rift between your party and Social Democrat Party. Social Democrats are flirting with Danish People Party, which we all know is anti-immigrant, anti-Islam. Whereas your party have said no, we don't. Is that the reason?
I think you have explained it wonderfully, because last time we had a coalition government, we had some kind of readiness, some kind of acceptance, some kind of what you call wish and desire to work together.
Sure.
And we had long talks. We had long talks in the Sortiton or whatever you call it.
Yes.
And it took. We had to spend a lot of time getting along with things. But we saw eye to eye many of the things. But now, recently, Social Democratic Party has chosen to be more critical about immigration and about the level of success of getting Muslim minorities integrated in this country and so on, So they are becoming more populistic,
Exactly.
So they want to join their hands with DF. And if that is the case, I don't know if it is, but if that's their agenda, then I think it will be very difficult for us to form another government where we are in coalition with them.
One of the arguments Social Democratic Party and also other anti-minority parties give is that there is an increase in unemployment among minorities, there is more crime, the boys are falling behind in education. All these things they are saying, is there any truth in that?
Well, to some extent these things are right, you can't deny facts, but the problem is that what have you done to solve the problems? If you see some problems and say, okay, the problem is there, let them be. So the problem will increase. And the basic problem, according to my mind, now I'm trying to say something which is maybe a little bit controversial, but the way we dwell, the way we live our lives, if we make ghettos, and especially ghettos with minus sign, with a lot of unemployed people, with a lot of criminality and so on, then you put people there, and you just okay, we got rid of them, they have to dwell there for themselves. I'm very much against, like ghettos like that. There are also ghettos of rich people, successful people, but they are doing well. They are paying to the community, or they are paying their taxes and so on. So what you have to do is, to remove all those places, take a totally different approach to dwelling, to what you call social politics and so on. Mix people. If you take all the losers and put them together, there won't be any success.
But there are also many Danes who live there. It's not only minorities who live there.
Exactly. I'm not making any differentiation. They are deprived people, all of them. They're underprivileged. I don't care about the ethnicity or their color of the skin.
No.
They are facing huge challenges. What are you doing to solve their problems?
Coming back to the politics, I remember in the last European and national parliamentary election, Danish People Party, they were elected with huge voters. And why do Danes vote for Danish People Party?
Unfortunately, I think they succeeded in making horror movies. Well, listen, Danes, we are in danger. Our country is being captured. All those Muslims are coming here. They will take over, and there will be what you call cutting the throats, or the heads will be rolling Sharia and so on. Yes, and Sharia laws and all those things. I can tell you, maybe it's a joke, but it's a very sad situation. I went to Jutland and to the remote areas and talked to some people. Almost all of them, they were very much excited about DF, Dansk Folkeparti.
Yes.
And they said, we just vote for them and they are real good. They are a kind of liberators for us. I said, why? What is the danger? They said, all those Muslims. I said, have you ever spoken to a Muslim? No, but they have told us. Muslims are dangerous.
Exactly.
I hadn't disclosed my identity. I said, listen, I'm a Muslim too.
Wow.
They had even never shaken a hand with a Muslim. So when you just spread this horror and you make people feel afraid, what do? You say, okay, us against them.
So that brings me to the voting pattern of ethnic minorities. Survey shows that ethnic minorities, in the last time of survey, about 40% of them vote, especially in local elections. Why that? And compared to 75% or 80% Danish ethnic Danes, why this low participation?
Well, it's a disaster to start with. I don't know what the reason is, but the problem is, if you talk to the ethnic minorities, they will just weep, sit there and cry, and they will tell about the miseries and they will tell about the misfortunes. But if you ask them what they have done to make their own situation better, they don't even go out and vote.
So as a politician, what do you think can be done to change it?
First of all, we have to tell them, if they really want to bring about a change, then have to change themselves. I think it has got something to do with they are not confident about democracy. Maybe they come from countries where democracy is just a kind of picture you show,
Exactly.
So I don't think if they are very much convinced about the democracy. I keep on telling them that they hold a big power in their hands the very day when they go to the ballot and they give their vote, So this is one of the things you can do. Another thing is there are always a good reason. Oh, it was snowing. Oh no, yeah, it was raining. So what you can do, the youngsters, they can mobilize. They can say, okay, uncle, let's go together. So we have to tell these people to go out and at least vote for the parties, for the candidates who really want to change their situation. So I think this is one of the reasons. Then again, if you come to the youngsters, second generation, or maybe they call it in Danish, I'm sorry,
New Danes.
New Danes, or maybe the descendants, they say, well, I'm doing well, so I don't care who is governing the country, so it's okay. It doesn't make any difference. My vote alone makes no difference. And that's the biggest misunderstanding. Your vote does count. So what you have to do is, through your programs, as me as an NGO or a social worker, also a politician, we have to tell people that their votes mean a lot, they count, and we live in a democratic society, and Denmark is a vibrating, living democracy. So their votes are not only there for somebody's reason, they are there for a good reason, and they do count. So there is a task ahead of us, all of us.
So now there will be election in 2017 November.
Yes.
So, do you think that there should be a campaign among ethnic minorities, especially Muslim communities, to go out and vote?
I think that will be a very good idea. I think instead of just making them coming to different kind of gatherings where they maybe don't understand or they don't dare to put questions or ask questions and so on, maybe there will be a campaigning specific for these people and telling them about their democratic rights, telling them their votes count and so on, you know. That will be a good thing. And we are some people who are kind of in action. So we are doing what we can do. But you know, but media and people like yourselves, your programs and so on. So it's I won't say a fight, I'll say a struggle, which must be done by all of us.
Abbas, you have been now involved in politics so many years. You have also been a substitute in the Danish Parliament.
Yes.
What are your future plans then?
Well, right at the moment, you know, I'm actually trying to get into the Parliament. And I'm a candidate. I have my candidacy, but I need what you call a constituency, because you know everybody wants to go to the Parliament.
Sure.
But I have tried to be there, and I know what I want to do. And if people who believe in me and people who think that I can make a change, they must try to help me with my campaigning.
So you're not being candidate for the region?
No, I'm not running for the region.
And not for your municipality?
No.
So you'll focus on the Parliament?
Yeah, I'll focus on the Parliament. I'll just tell you, because some people will maybe misunderstand. There is my name on the list for our own municipality, which is Herlev. But we have our what you call top candidate, and if we are very lucky, we'll get one mandate. So we are trying to put her ahead, you know. So if my name is on the ballot, then it is there to support her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with this good wish, I'm sure that people who have seen this program and heard your views and wonderful opinion, I'm sure that when you get this constituency, you will definitely make a big difference when you come to Parliament.
I hope so.
Thank you very much, Abbas, coming.
Thank you.
And to my viewers, as I always say, don't go after the party, go after the candidate. If a candidate fits the wishes and the needs you think are important for the party, so vote. And we will definitely invite Mr. Razvi again when he will be candidate for the Danish Parliament. Until next time, take good care of yourself.